Hey everyone, welcome back to the Astral Thoughts podcast. It's Astral Boy, and we're here with Gino.
What's up, my man?
In light of Halloween's next week, so we will be doing, I'd say some spooky
stories.
We're gonna do some ghost stories today, guys. So we'll share some, and then I have, I guess, I'd say a kind of like a touching story in the end that I'll share with you guys. So I'll share about, I'd say 2 or 3 ghost stories that I have, and they're both from my mom. I'll say they're all from my mom, and I'll share those with you. And then Gino has a ghost story that he'll tell you guys as well.
Yeah, I don't know if whatever it was, something I didn't understand at the time, but, you know.
All right, so ghost story number 1 from me, well, from my mom.
Yeah.
So my mom, a backstory, my mom was born in Jamaica, and so all of these ghost stories happened while she was there. And I don't know how old my mom was at this time in this story. I'd say call it like maybe like probably I'd say somewhere like 12 to 15 or something. So my mom was she was inside a house. She was sitting on like the doorsteps that's like on, it'd be like the entrance going into a house or like exiting the house or whatever. Mm-hmm. So she's sitting at those doorsteps, and it's nighttime, and she's there with her family, and it's like, 8 o'clock or whatever. And so everyone's just chilling in the house, in the kitchen. And my mom says she sees a guy dressed in a suit and a brown hat. And he like basically walks up to the house, and he walks inside the house. And mm-hmm. He's like, the way she describes it though is like he's walking on air. It's like his feet's not touching the ground. He's like he's levitating. He's like doing the moonwalk.
Damn.
But so this guy's like walking on air, and my mom says that he takes like 3 steps, and with those 3 steps alone, he cleared 20 feet.
Damn.
While like walking on air. So my mom sees that, and she's just like, what the heck? So then what she does, she tells everyone else, hey, did you guys just see that dude just walk by? He just walked by in the kitchen, and everyone just looks at my mom like she's crazy. And I think they all just like scattered. They all just left her. But I probably would too, though, because it's like,
nobody want to hear that. They were probably playing cards or dominoes, and they're like,
Yeah.
Now, how old was she at this time?
I think she was probably like 12 or 15.
Yeah.
But the thing though about my mom though too, backstory, my mom, guys, my mom's had these crazy experiences since she was a kid. I believe my mom said when she was born, she had like a veil over her eyes or something like that, something along the lines like that. And so that's why she's able to see ghosts and stuff like that. So maybe that's where I got it from my mom, this whole spiritual stuff. But that's basically ghost story number 1.
And just real quick, I just want to say, it seems like a lot of these, like especially like our parents and stuff, being from islands, like my mom from Puerto Rico, it seems like the islands have a lot of stories like that. Like it's very like those islands are like very mystical. Like they held on to, even though they went on to like have religions and stuff like that, it seems like they held on to a lot of the like past I don't know how paganism, mysticism that was kept in those islands, it seems.
Nah, that's true. That's very true too. So I'll get into ghost story number 2 from my mom.
Let's hear this.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So with this one, my mom's, probably like age 12 again. I don't know why. I just picked age 12.
Oh, okay. Maybe she was 12 and a half,
But so with this one, it's daytime now. And my mom, so what they have like in Jamaica, they have like, I don't know if they have it in Puerto Rico too, or like on other islands. Yeah. But, they have like these food stands. So where people just go buy food, like snow cones and stuff like that. Yeah, we did. So my mom went to go buy one, or I'll buy like 2 or whatever. It's like some type of pastry she bought. And so she's walking now, and she's trying to go find a place to go sit and eat outside. And as she's walking, she's approached by these 2 old people. And so the old people look at my mom. They say to her, hey, can we get some food? Like, we're really hungry or whatever. And my mom said she was really greedy at the time. She said she looked at those old people and said, you better go find your own food. So, but my mom, she said she looked at her food, then looked at the old people, looked back at her food, and was like, you know what? I'll share. So my mom gave like the old people some of her food.
Yeah.
And then right after she gave them the food, she sat down. Like she sat down at a bench like that was like, probably 5 feet away from her or something, max. And then she sat down, looked up, and those old people were gone.
Damn.
So with that, my mom never understood, how old people can just get up and leave like that.
They don't walk very fast.
Unless he had a jetpack on or something.
Yeah.
But
they ain't had those on the island yet. Not yet anyway,
So my mom never understood that, and that one always stuck with me because it's just like, I guess I to this day sometimes I sit and wonder like maybe I don't know what those old people do. Maybe were they dressing up? Was someone dressed up as old people?
Yeah,
I don't know. But
maybe it was a spirit like testing her, to see if she would give the food up.
I thought about that too. That's what I think it is. Like certain spirits testing you, see I guess what type of person you are, what kind of heart you have, and stuff like that. And my mom did share it with them, so they probably took that as like this is a good person right here or whatever. But from that point on, I believe my mom was blessed, and good things happened to my mom later on in life as well. Yeah. Like I felt like in my mom's life, something was always watching over her, and something was always guiding my mom. Quick story, real quick.
Cool.
This is a story that my mom told me when my mom had my oldest brother. She was, I think my mom was probably like, I'd say 19 at the time. She was living in Jamaica still, and so my mom went to go take a nap. And she went to go take a nap, and my brother was sleeping. And so they both sleeping inside the bedroom. The door's locked, and my mom had a candle lit in the bedroom. Yeah. And I guess my mom fell asleep while the candle was lit, and a fire started in the bedroom. Yeah. And my mom had a dream while she was sleeping in the room's on fire. Yeah. And in the dream, the guy said to my mom, while there's life, there's hope. He just kept repeating that to my mom. While there's life, there's hope. And he took water and like splashed it on her, whatever. And my mom woke up. Yeah. And so my mom woke up from the dream. She saw the fire in the bedroom. So of course she's panicking. And my mom said a thing that island people do, or like I guess people in Jamaica, they always sleep with like I guess like water near them, or like a bucket of water somewhere in the bedroom. So she was able to like put out the fire in the room. Yeah, which is crazy that you have a dream like that that's so specific, even though she's not aware of what's going on in the room at the time. But that's like a cool story.
That's crazy.
My mom always has weird stories like that. My mom should be on this podcast.
Yo, our moms probably should. Yeah. Yo, I'm telling you, my mom got stories like this for days. Like I spoke to her yesterday, and I was like, I really couldn't tell like some of her stories because she's so detailed, and I was like, yo, I gotta take some time for this, man. I ain't got time to write all this down. But yeah, man, like I remember when I was a kid, they always used to be telling us all kinds of like spooky stories they went through and all that, and it was like to them it was like
this is life.
Yeah, it's just normal. You know what I mean?
Know. It's something on the island, Gino.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it definitely is.
I don't know, but do you think though too? I feel like maybe being on an island, living on an island, I should say. I don't know. I feel like your mindset's just in a totally different place when you're living in like in America. You're not.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I feel like it could be that too. Yeah. Like I feel like living on an island, I don't know. You're just not constantly bombarded by I guess American or I'd say first world issues or whatever. I'd say.
I mean, like I lived in Puerto Rico till I was like 9. And I could honestly say I don't think I ever saw the inside of a supermarket like while I was there. Yeah, because you live a simpler life, pretty much anything you need to eat for the most part you have right outside. Like we had pigs, we had chickens, you know what I mean? So we had fresh eggs every day, we had mango trees, we had avocado trees. Like we had everything there. So you didn't really need to leave the house to go find something to eat.
The other thing I was gonna say though too, I feel like people that come from the island, they're more open minded, not as narrow minded as like I'd say us Americans, or whatever. But I just feel like their mind's just more open, and things happen to them every day, and they'll just take that in and just be like, yo, this is what happened. Where Americans are just like, nah, that can never happen. That's not true or whatever.
I believe like when you live on the islands and stuff like that, the traditions are carried on a little more, and you're not as bombarded with like things that we are here, and and when you live on an island, you live closer to nature. I feel as
that's very true.
And it makes you kind of be more open to everything. You're not polluting your body the way we do it, and on here, But hey,
All right, guys. Ghost story number 3 for my mom. So this one's kind of deep from my mom. So my mom had an aunt who passed away. I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah.
At that moment, I think my mom was maybe like 17 years old at the time when this happened. 17, 18.
Yeah.
So my mom's in the bathroom, and as my mom's in the bathroom, she smells this perfume, and the thing about that perfume is what her aunt would wear. Yeah. So my mom smells it and recognizes it right away. And so mom's just like, yo, what the heck is, like, why am I smelling this perfume? Maybe someone used it. Yeah. We don't know. But so what happened next, my mom's just smelling it, and she's just like walking around in the bathroom, not trying to see where the smell's coming from. And she looks in the tub. She's like, there's like a shower curtain, you move the shower curtain, and my mom says she sees her aunt, like, the spirit of her dead aunt. Mm-hmm. My mom fainted, dropped to the ground.
I don't blame her.
I would have fainted too, like just seeing something like that. So then, I think my grandma then like found my mom just laying on the bathroom floor, knocked out, and just like, oh, what happened? And my mom's just saying like, that she saw her dead aunt, and like they probably left her back on that ground.
Yeah, they were like, this girl's possessed.
But that's like I guess the ghost stories I have for you guys from my mom. Yeah. I don't really have ghost stories myself because like I've never really seen ghosts or anything like that. Yeah. But yeah, I'll let Gino talk for now.
Yo, I'll share one with you guys, and I mean I'll be honest, this is one that's really close to my heart. I don't share with a lot of people, so this is like the first time I'm really open like this to share with a lot of people. But when I had to figure out how old I was. I was talking to my mom about it. I was about 6 years old. My mom and I had moved to a new home. But actually, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Before we moved to this new home, me and my mom lived alone somewhere in Puerto Rico. And all of a sudden, I started waking up in the middle of the night, and I kept hearing something. It was like the best way I could describe it now. Back then, I didn't know that. It sounded like almost like a radio station. At the time, I thought it was something coming from outside, and I thought like we used to have these vendors that would drive around like selling like fruits and stuff like that, and you would hear, but it would happen during the day. This used to happen like to me when I used to wake up like 3, 4 in the morning, and it was, I mean, it got to the point that every time I would wake up in the middle of the night, I would just lie in bed because I didn't want to get up because I knew what was going to happen. And then I would get out of bed and I would hear it, and I couldn't make out the words. It was a voice. It sounded kind of far away, but it sounded like a radio station almost. And I couldn't zone into what it was saying. I would try and I couldn't. And I would try to wake up my mom, and it was crazy because she wouldn't wake up. Like every time I would try to wake her up, she would wake up and it would just end. The episode would just end. So, we moved from the house. We moved to this house where my cousins used to live. Again, it was just me and my mom. And again, it started happening. Like it started again more intensified when I moved to the house. Like all of a sudden, every night I would wake up and it'd be like I hear that voice in the background. And the crazy part about it, it sounded like it was coming from outside. So finally, this one time, as soon as I heard it, I shook my mom up, and I'm like, Mom, look, I could hear it right out that window. It was like the window right next to our bedroom. So my mom starts trying to listen, and she's like, honey, I don't hear anything. And I'm like, Mom, I could hear it right now as we're speaking. How can you not hear that? It was so frustrating because I was so petrified because I didn't know what it was. So then finally it kept happening. My mom and it kept happening around the same time. It was somewhere between 3 and 4. So my mom finally was like, you know what? I'm going to ask the neighbors. I'm going to see what's going on here. So my mom went to the next door neighbor and was like, hey, listen, told the story, what was going on with me, and was like, do you guys hear anything? He says it's like a radio station or like somebody trying to like sell something. And they were like, no, but I think we should leave this here and you should talk to your sister. And my mom was like, what do you mean? She was like, just go talk to your sister and tell her this story. Because like I said, her sister was living there with my cousin. My cousin was actually like 6 days younger than me. So he was around 6 also. So my mom goes and talks to her aunt. I mean, to my aunt, which is her sister. And her sister was like, oh, yeah, actually, that same window you guys are sleeping with, my son used to wake up every morning between 3 and 4 and just look out that window. And it was like he was in a trance. And she said she used to try to wake him up and shake him, and he just wouldn't budge. He just was zoned out of that window. And then out of nowhere, he would just go back to sleep like nothing ever happened. And he can't recall what was going on. So they were thinking there was something going on in that house. Because like I said, once I moved into the house, it happened before, but it was kind of like random. Once I moved into that house, like it started happening like literally every single night around the same time.
Did you ever like feel anything while you were hearing that sound?
I just felt scared, man. I was like I'm telling you,
it's like a radio station. Like, did it seem like you were trying to like find, like, you know, when like you're trying to like tune into a radio station?
Yeah. It's almost, there was like not so much static, but it was almost like the voice would come in and out,
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, and I couldn't. And the thing that was so frustrating is that I would try to, like, at times, even as a kid, I was trying to listen to what it was saying to try to make out the words, so I could tell my mom what it was saying, but I couldn't make out the words. It was like I could hear perfectly, but I couldn't make them out. And yeah, I'll be honest, man, that had me petrified for like into my teenage years. Like I used to wake up in the middle of the night, and I did hear it one other time in America while I lived out here. Well, I was like 14, I think, or like 15, and I woke up and I was like really out of it, and I heard it, and I was like, no, not again. Just follow me over here. But then after that, I never heard it again. That was probably like the last time I heard it when I was like 14 or 15. But man, let me tell you, I had me petrified for years to wake up in the middle of the night.
Yo, like something like having like an experience like that, I think that's just like really scary. That's just really like creepy, bro.
Yeah,
because I feel like that's like from like a movie.
Yeah, and you want that, and that's the crazier thing about it, is that now I've heard of like certain like I know, like I saw like the Air Force. I guess some of their pilots at times when they were in the air, they had some encounters with like aliens and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and every time it was a radio station they would hear. It was like one of the first. It was like almost like they were messing with them, and they would change their radio stations. And there was one specific case that I remember that the guy was somewhere. I want to say he was like somewhere. I don't want to say specifically because I can't remember, but I know he was somewhere far away from the West Coast. Mm-hmm. But he was from the West Coast, and all of a sudden he was hearing this radio station that he used to hear back home. And there was like it was like almost impossible for him to be able to hear that. But it was while he was having an encounter. And that made me feel like, yo, maybe that's what I was hearing. You know what I mean? It was some sort of frequency. I don't know.
I feel like it could be so many things. Like, you know, are you listening to like I don't know if you're able to like listen. There's like some portal right near you. So you're able to listen to like, you know, something that's going on in the other part of the world. Or are you listening to some frequency that's enabling you to listen to what's going on in a different dimension?
Yeah.
Like, are you in the upside down place?
And maybe that's why I kept thinking now that I'm older, I keep thinking like maybe that's why I couldn't make out the words, because maybe it wasn't in a language I understood at the time.
That's really crazy,
you know?
Gino. Wow, man.
Yeah, I sleep better now, but man, if I hear that now, it's funny because at times I'm like, in some ways I wish I could hear it again so I know what it is.
You don't want that. If you wake up and you hear that and your wife sees you, like, she gonna slap you.
Yeah, she would too.
Gino, what the hell are you doing right now?
Get your ass back to bed.
Oh, my bad.
Yo.
So guys, I had one last thing I wanted to share with you guys. It's just kind of like a story I've never really told anyone. I told a couple people. I told Gino, like my sister-in-law and my wife, of course. So this was like it's about a dream that I've had about of a loved one who passed away. So I just want to share with you guys today. I had this dream 2 years ago, October 16th, and so I wrote this down. So my sister-in-law's mother passed away from pancreatic cancer, and you know that really, I feel like, you know, really it just left me in a bad place because I feel like she was kind of like a grandmother to me. I met her when I was like 4 years old, and she like, you know, really like changed my life. So losing her really affected me, and it just made me view life really differently after that. I guess I just wanted to do things by her sometimes. Like, you know, I just want to like make her proud sometimes with things that I do in life, because she was just, you know, the most caring person. You know, she treated me like I was her own grandkid.
That's cool.
And you know, but I'll continue on. So in this dream that I had, it was about her, and in the dream, I pulled up in my car to my wife's old house, and when I pulled up to the house, I saw my sister-in-law's mother. Her name's Betty. I saw her. She was standing outside, and she was like maybe about 50 feet away. She was like at the entrance to Leonardo's house. I don't know why it took place at Leonardo's house. I don't know why, but so she was at the doorstep with her husband named Peter, and I remember like seeing her in the dream, and I just got so happy. I remember telling like my wife in the dream, like, "Oh, she's right there. We gotta go." So like I run up to her, and I just gave her like the biggest hug, and I'm saying like, "Oh, you know, I miss you. And I'm reading from my notes because this dream happened a while ago. So everyone was like in the dream, like my brother, his wife, and their kids, my wife, you know, we're all there as a family. We're just like basically celebrating that she's there with us. Like we were all so happy that she was there. And in the dream, my sister-in-law was crying, and her mom in the dream was sitting on the floor, and she was telling us how she feels so much better. She's not in pain and everything. And in the dream, she said that everything is a miracle. And as she was talking to me, I could see her like transform back to like her, you know, back to like how she looked when we first saw her. Because, you know, she did have cancer. So, you know, when you have cancer, it, you know, your body goes through like, you know, a lot of physical changes. You lose a lot of weight and everything. So in the dream, that's how I saw her, like, you know, very weak and everything. But for some reason in the dream, she slowly started to transform back to her healthy self. And the part that forever stuck with me was that in the dream, she wore like the same type of purplish lipstick she used to wear. And I mean, like the same lipstick I remember her wearing like back when I was like 4 years old. Like everything about her to the T, you know, from back then. That's how I remembered her. That's how I saw her in the dream. That's how she transformed. Her skin changed, looked healthy. She had on that lipstick. Her hair color changed as well, and she just looked so healthy. And I fell into her lap, and I just hugged her and cried. And then she said how she has to go now, and she like disappeared from me in the dream. And when I woke up, Gino, I was crying tears, man. Because it was just like, it left me emotional. And like I never really shared that dream with anyone because it was just, you know, a really like emotional dream. And about that, from that moment to when she passed away, I did like a lot of reading, like on, you know, like I forget the books names, but I'd read these books and basically talking about, I think it's Robert Monroe, I'm not sure, but they would basically talk about how when loved ones pass away, they're able to communicate with you through dreams or through with items that they used to possess, like say a ring that they used to wear or a necklace or something like that. Like they're able to communicate with you when you hold on to these items or through dreams. But in order for them to communicate with you, you have to be in the right state of mind. They can't communicate with you if you're sad or if you're depressed or anything. They can only basically communicate with you when, you know, you're in that right state of mind. Your mind's clear. So the best time for people to really do that is when you're dreaming, because you know your vibration frequency and your brain frequency is at a level where you're not really thinking about anything. Your mind's really tranquil and relaxed. So I feel like, you know, that's why she reached out to me. I feel like she reached out to me in that dream because, you know, that's when I was really relaxed. I wasn't, you know, sad or anything. But it was like the perfect dream. She left me that message that, you know, everything's a miracle. And she basically said that everything's fine now with her, and, you know, she's happy, and she gave me a hug, and that's just crazy for me.
Now, were you like, Were you close to her that you kind of grieved when she passed?
I was crying. I'll say I didn't want to cry because I'm not the type of person to cry, but like I did cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it still stuck with me. And I remember when she did pass away, I remember trying to be like, you got to stay strong. Don't try to be too sad because, if she does want to communicate with you, you're not going to be able to hear her or communicate with her because you're not going to be in the right state of mind. So I tried to, clear my mind and just know that she's in a better place and she's happier and she's going to be able to live through us and watch over us forever until we meet her.
And that's the thing. I think they choose the best person to get the message. You know what I mean? So she probably chose you to pass the message on to everybody around her that knew her. Like, hey, she's in a good place. This is how she looks. She even says she feels great. You know what I mean? So I think that's it wasn't like a coincidence. It was like purposely so you could carry on that message.
Yeah. So after I woke up from that dream, I definitely shared it with my sister-in-law. I had to, because I just felt like I couldn't hold on to that type of information. But like, it's crazy. I'm telling you, like, how you get all these meaningful messages and dreams, and we
ignore most of them though. I guarantee you that people listening to this, they all have like a bunch of these kind of stories that they could share also, but at the time when they happen, a lot of people kind of just disregard them as it's just a dream. But dreams, I mean, in certain cultures, dreams are very, very important. They don't consider it just like, oh, it's just a dream. It's not important. But life could be a dream.
Yeah. So that was this week's podcast, guys. If you guys have any stories or want to share anything, please comment below. Also, next week we'll be doing a Q&A episode. So basically, comment any questions you guys have. Message us if you guys can or want to with any questions you guys have, and we'll be able to answer them on next week's episode. But until then, hope you guys have a happy Halloween. Do some spooky stuff, and hope you guys have some stories later on.
Definitely. Head down to Salem.
But thank you guys. Hope you guys have a great week. Peace.